Okay, so good evening, everybody, and welcome to your second class so far. So, before I start, I want to make an announcement. The last time we had an assignment on the candlesticks that we did, right? Which I know that a good number of you attended, but then what I want to say is this: if you are given an assignment, you just try to, our classes are usually Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, right? So if you're given an assignment on Monday, just try to submit it that Monday or before 12 p.m. of Tuesday. You understand? So that everything will be ordered and I can go through all of it at once. You get so you have like that day and then before 12 p.m. the next day. So everything will just be orderly like that. And so today's topic, we're going to be taking introduction to Forex. I think if you're following the outline, you see that is part of the things on our curriculum. We have the what is Forex, currencies and post currencies, pips, points, pipettes, training sessions, and the rest of them. This is actually, I know that some of you are trained already, but you understand that some people here are very new to trading. You get so this is for them most especially. So bear with me and So for Forex, I think a lot of you, even if you've not been trading for a while or you've never traded before, you probably heard people say Forex, crypto, and the rest of them. Maybe you've heard it somewhere from your friends or your siblings or something. Stan, can you see my trading view screen?
Yeah, for me too.
All right. So Forex simply means foreign exchange. You see the FOR, I think it's spelled like this, FOREX, right? So the first FOR means foreign, while the EX means of exchange, right? So Forex just means foreign exchange. It's just the buying and selling of different currencies in trading. You understand? Buying and selling of different currencies. If you look at my watch list, for most of the Forex pairs that you're seeing here, you can see that it's one country's currency against the other. Here you can see the Australian dollar against the Swiss franc. Here you can see the Australian dollar against the New Zealand dollar. So it's usually one country's currency against the other. So just the buying and selling of currencies. You're buying one currency. While you're buying one currency, you're literally selling the other one. You can see that for all the Forex currencies you would see, it's one currency being paid against the other. You can see for EUR CHF, for EUR GBP is what the euro versus the British pound. For GBP AUD is the British pound versus what the Australian dollar. For NZD-JPY is the New Zealand dollar versus the Japanese yen. For the USD card is what the US dollar versus Canadian dollar. So if you go through all of them that are Forex currencies, you find out that it is always one country's currency paired with another country's currency, right? So it just involves the buying and selling of these currencies. You see foreign exchange, meaning your currency versus another foreign currency. You're just exchanging them, right? So that is the meaning of Forex. But then I told you now that it is one currency versus another currency, another country's currency. So this brings us to what? Currencies and cryptocurrencies. Maybe one day, a lot of you definitely are going to, or a lot of you, some of you here definitely are going to make money from trading, become profitable and all of that. And let me say now, you're trying to put a younger one through, and then they ask you, somebody asked me the meaning of post currency. What is a post currency? This question can come randomly. Now, for the fact that I told you that you're pairing one country's currency against another, it means that there will be what? A base currency and there will be what? A quote currency. Anytime you see two currencies paired against each other, there's definitely going to be what? A base currency and there's going to be what? A quote currency. So which means that here that we have what? We have the EUR/USD, which is the euros versus what? The US dollar. It means that there is one base currency and there's what? One quote currency. Now here's the easiest way to know or identify which is the base and which is the quote. For every time you see these currencies, they're always represented by three alphabets, right? So for the British pound, you can see is what? GBP. For the Canadian dollar, you can see is what? CAD. So which means that the first three alphabets is for the first currency, while the last three alphabets is for what? Is for the second currency. So for every time you see a currency or two currencies paired like this, just know that the first currency is the base currency, while the second currency is what? The quote currency, which means that the first three alphabets represent what? The base currency, while the second three alphabets represent what? The quote currency. So if I should ask you now, GBP USD, what is the base currency? I'm sure that every one of you that have been listening to me will be able to tell anybody outside that the base currency is British pound for GBP USD, while the quote currency is the US dollar, which means that the first currency is the base currency, while the second currency is what? The quote currency. If I should randomly come to your DM now and I ask you, oh, we have CAD/JPY, which is the Canadian dollar versus the Japanese yen, and then I ask you, what is the quote currency? If you've been listening to me, you'll be able to identify and say that the Japanese yen is what? The quote currency, while the Canadian dollar is the base currency, right? So always remember that the first currency is what? Base, the second currency is what? Quote currency when it comes to foreign exchange, which is what? Forex, right? Now, let me take some of you back to secondary school, I think a lot of you here that are science students, you probably hear them say that a cell is the basic and functional unit of a living organism, right? Which means that it is like the smallest indivisible part of a living organism that can exist independently. You see that like that smallest part, smallest unit of measurement in the human body. That is what I want you to assume in your head, right? That's what I want you to make up in your head when it comes to trading. There is a very small unit of measurement. The way that you have cell for the human body, in Forex, it is called pips. You understand? It's called pips. I think it's spelled like this when you see people write PIPS or PIP for singular, right? This is pips. I think a lot of you would have heard somebody say, oh, this thing moved 50 pips. It has moved 100 pips, 200 pips done. For people that love to calculate their trading profits or the movement of their trading in pips, right? You probably see a lot of them talk about 50 pips, this and this. So a pip is just simply the acronym for what? For percentage in profits, right? Means percentage in profits. So it is the PIP that is now abbreviated as what? As pips, right? So pips simply means percentage in profit. This is the smallest unit of price movements in forex markets. Do you understand? Meaning that there are other, like you can calculate movements in points and the rest of them. But then the smallest that it gets is pips. Although there's something called pipettes, but you would not always find it in most charts platforms. You understand? So pips is like the smallest, most acceptable. Now, if you go to my watch list now, let's say for this AUDCHF now, you can see that the current price is what? 0.5647, right? You can see that the current price is 0.5647 at this point. Now, if this thing should move from 0.5647 to 0.5648, you would say that it has moved 1 pip. Do you understand? So the change in this fourth decimal is what you recognize as a pip movement. Do you understand? So which means that if it move from 0.5647 to 0.5649, it has moved by what? By 2 pips, right? So this is the same for every pair except the Japanese yens. That's the ones that have their quote currencies as well as JPY. Remember what I told you guys that quote currency is? I told you that a quote currency is what usually the second currency when paired against, when two currencies are paired. The second one is usually what? The quote currency. So let's say now I told you that you would always find a peak movement in the fourth decimal, except for Japanese yen, which means that you would find, which means for AUD USD now, a peak movement will be what? When this 7 should change to another number. You can see that the current price of AUD USD is what? 0.6337. So if this should change now, okay, currently you see that it's actually changed to 0.6336, but it's back to 37 now. If it should change from 0.6337 to 0.6338, it has moved by what? By 1 pip. So it is usually on the fourth decimal for this type of pairs, except the ones that have what? That have JPY as their quote currency. Now, this is because JPY pairs don't actually have up to 4 decimals. You would always see them like this. Like if you look at this now, this is Canadian dollar versus Japanese yen, which is what? CAD JPY. You can see that what it is just 103.80. It doesn't have up to 4 decimals like the AUD USD that has 6337 after the decimal point. This one is just 82. Do you understand? So it doesn't have up to 4 decimal points. So which means that the peak movement for this one will be what? On the second decimal, which is this 3 that you see here. So if CAD JPY should move from 103.83, okay, currently 0.84 now. If it should move from 103.84 to 103.85, it has moved by what? By 1 pip. When this last significant figure should make a change, that is when you say that it has moved by what? By a pip or by a number that it has moved. You understand? If it should change down from 103.85 to 103.89, it has moved by what? By 4 pips. Do you understand? So remember that I said that a pip is the smallest unit of measurement when it comes to the Forex market. For every other pair except the JPY pairs, you can find their pip movements on the fourth decimal. Why for the JPY pairs usually was found on the second decimal, right? After the decimal point, just count the next 2 figures, right? Now, in Forex, we have something very important, which is what? The trading sessions, right? Now, there are different trading sections when it comes to trading. We have the London trading session, we have the New York trading session, we have the Asian trading session, the Sydney. We have, I'll just represent London. Okay. So we have London, we have New York, we have Asia, and we have the Sydney, I think. The first 3 are like the most popular, right? I think a lot of you would have heard people say London trading sessions, New York trading sessions, Asian trading sessions, right? And then there's also Sydney trading sessions. Now I'm going to represent this time in Nigerian time. For the London trading session, it's usually from 8 a.m. Nigerian time, that's 8 o'clock a.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. For the New York trading session, it's usually from 1 o'clock p.m., that's 1 in the afternoon, to 10 p.m. at night. The Asian trading session usually from 12 o'clock a.m., that's 12 midnight, to 9 a.m. in the morning. Then the Sydney is usually what? 11 o'clock p.m. to 8 o'clock a.m. Now, there's something I want you guys to actually notice here. For those of you that would have seen it already. If you look at this, I said that the London trading session is usually 8 o'clock a.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. The New York trading session is 1 o'clock p.m. to 10 o'clock p.m. The Asian trading session, 12 o'clock a.m. to 9 o'clock a.m. While Sydney, 11 o'clock p.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. 8 o'clock a.m. So this is Nigerian time. For those of you that are on the call that are probably not in Nigeria, just convert your West African time. That's GMT +1 to whatever time zone you are in. This is like strictly Nigerian time, right? So now, if you look at this particular thing, you would notice that there are places whereby these trading sessions are overlapping. What I mean by overlapping is they are clashing. Do you understand? When you say something is clashing, like if you look at London, it starts from 8 a.m. and ends by 5 p.m. Meanwhile, New York is starting from what? From 1 p.m. to end by 10 p.m. That means that London will run, the London trading session can run when the New York has started. So which means that from 1 p.m. that the New York starts to 5 p.m. that the London ends. The New York and the London trading session, they are clashing. Do you understand? Because remember that I said that London starts 8 a.m. and London ends 5 p.m. So before London ends, New York has started by 1 p.m. Do you understand? So this time that New York starts, when London is still running, that is what I'm calling the overlapping. Meaning that like, you just like, okay, let me use myself now. Me and Oyin is on the call, right? So let's say Oyin and I will decide to set a competition, right? Let's say we're running. So I'm going to start running from Ikeja, right? No, let me say I'm going to start running from the island. You understand? I was trying to get to what's the name of this place? Yani Baja. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Well, I'm running from the island. I was trying to get to Yannipaja. Meanwhile, Onyi is at what? Onyi is in Ikeja. Do you understand? So I'm running from the island, which is farther away from the Yannipaja. Onyi is in Ikeja. On the island. Do you understand? Now, since I'm running from the island, which is this London station that's starting from 8 a.m., right? So I'm running from the island. You agree with me that now when I get to Ikeja, where Onyi is, and two of us are now running from Ikeja to Yannipaja. It means that at that point, whereby two of us are now together, it is called what? An overlap. We are overlapping because we are together now. Do you understand? So that's what I'm trying to say. Assume that the London station is starting from what? It's starting the race from what? The island. And then the point whereby, which is by 1 p.m., whereby you now get to Ikeja to join Oyi there, which is this 1 p.m. now, to now continue running. It is what is going to be what? An overlap. When two of them meet. Do you understand? So this point whereby London is running and New York is running as well at the same time is what I call what? And is what I'm trying to call what? An overlapping in this session. Now, this overlapping is actually one of the most volatile times. So whenever you have two trading sessions overlap, it actually comes with what? It comes with volatility. And that is why you see that there's actually more volume in the Forex market from this time. Usually, you see that whenever there's news like the CPI, the PPI, all of this news, all these Forex news and the rest of it, you notice that usually like 1:30 Nigerian time, right? 1:30, 3 o'clock. Do you understand? They usually come when these sessions are overlapping. So this overlapping comes with volatility in the market. Volatility is more volume in the market. Many people are trading at the same time. So there's more volume in the market. Do You understand? So this overlapping usually comes with more volume, and it's one of the best times to actually trade. The most acceptable or the best trading session is this London trading session, right? This London trading session. So most of you, or will I say me for sure, I trade the London and the New York trading session, and that is what I expect from you as well. The London trading session and the New York trading session. So which means your training time is what? Between 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. 8 a.m. London starts. By 1 p.m. London and New York overlap. And then London ends by 5 p.m. New York ends by what? By 10 p.m. So which means your start time 8 a.m. Your end time 10 p.m. Remember when I said that when I talked about overlapping, I said that when two trading sessions meet, there is what more volatility in the market because of the overlapping. It's just like London traders are trading, New York traders are trading, which means there's more money in the market. You understand? Two different sets of traders are putting money into the market. So it usually comes with more volatility. The Asian trading session is actually when we get to AMD, that's the accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. I'm going to talk about this most of the time. This Asian trading session is usually used as a form of liquidity because it's so most of the times, right? This Asian session just accumulates, creates liquidity that the London session can clear. You understand? So when we get to AMD, I'm going to emphasize better on this one, but just take home that what your trading session is what the London and the New York as a student of this sample, right? So the next thing now is the brokers and the trading platforms. So brokers are just like okay, let me give this example. Let me say I think if I say middleman, a lot of you will understand what I mean, right? So brokers are just like middlemen between traders and the market. In a better English, in Forex, brokers are like intermediates, right? Uh, um, Intermediates between traders and markets. So they provide you with platforms, with tools, with services that you can use to buy and sell these forex currencies, right? Like you have Deriv. Deriv is a broker that will provide you with your details that you can go and trade on MT5, right? We have, I think Fundedness even have their own broker now, I guess. Fundedness has a broker. You have, what else again? What else again? You have Owanda. Owanda is a broker as well. You have Think. No. Think Market is a broker. Yes, Think Market is a broker as well, right? These intermediates where you can actually go to them to buy and sell. Do you understand? They just act like an intermediate or a middleman between you and the market. More like, let me give you an example now. Let's say I'm the only one in Nigeria that's selling fishes. I'm the only one selling fishes in Nigeria, right? And now, a lot of you, okay, no, let me not say you guys, but let's say a lot of people don't have access to leave the country. But I can actually leave the country. We don't produce fishes in Nigeria. Let's say you have to import them from Ghana. Fishes are not produced in Nigeria. You have to import them from Ghana. And I'm the only one privileged to go outside to Ghana to get these fishes, right? So which means that I will go get the fishes from Ghana and then I will come back to Nigeria and you can now buy from me. Do you understand? It means that I'm acting as a middleman between you and where those fishes are produced. So just like I'm the intermediate between you and the fishes where they are produced. So between you and Ghana. Do you understand? So these brokers are just like intermediates between you as a trader and the market. They provide you with tools where you can buy and you can sell on them. Do you understand? But then we have this thing, trading platforms. Do you understand? So a trading platform is just where you can now execute these trades. I think a lot of you are familiar with some trading platforms already. For trading platforms, you have something like the MT5. I think these are the most popular. The MT5 and the MT4, that's the meta traders, that are the most popular trading platforms so far when it comes to forex currencies. You have Match Trader. Yes, there's Match Trader. There's the C Trader. There are a lot of them. These are now the ones that you can place your buyer, your seller, and the rest of them after connecting them to your broker. Do you understand? So examples of your brokers now can now be the under the Rwanda, Fundedness, Think Markets, Deriv, and the rest of them. They are examples of brokers. White trading platforms, you have like the MT5, the MT4, the Mass Trader, and the C Trader. Now, speaking of MT5 and MT4, I think tomorrow, before 6 p.m. tomorrow, now, I'm going to upload a video on how to use the MT4 and the MT5 platform, right? I think that's what we're going to be using in the course of this class for major, I think, because the derivative, that's the synthetic indices, that is where you also have to connect to, that's the trading platform that you would use for derivative broker, right? So I'm going to drop instructions on how to sign up on dairy, that's for synthetics, how to use the MT4 and the MT5 training platform. It should be on the go before 6 p.m. tomorrow. Then what else again? I think that's it, right? So generally, just an overview of what I've said so far. I talked about Forex itself, and I told you guys that what Forex is divided into two words, which is what the 4 and the X. The 4 stands for what? Foreign, and the X stands for what? Exchange. So Forex is just simply Forex and foreign exchange, right? There's nothing much about it. And then I talked about both currencies and base currencies. I told you that anytime someone asks you about anything about what both currencies and base currencies, you have to understand that what your quote currency is usually what the second currency in a pair, and your base currency is usually the first. And they are usually what for forex currencies, you always see them represented by three alphabets, right? For British pound, now you can see that British pound is being represented with what GBP NZD. British pound is being represented with GBP, while the New Zealand dollar is being represented with what NZD. So which means that usually it's always, what do they call it? It's always being represented by three alphabets. So whenever someone asks you about base currency and core currency, just know that the first currency is usually what the base, and the second one is the quote. And I talked about the pips, and I told you that the pip is what the smallest unit of measurement in the forex market. Just like you have your cell as the smallest structural and functional part of a living organism that can exist on its own, right? That is a cell. Just like you have cells in the human body, when it comes to measurement in the forex market, pips is the smallest that you can get to. Although there's something called pipette, but I don't want to introduce you guys to it because you may not necessarily need it. For those of you that can see my screen, you can see EUR/USD. If you go ahead to look at the price of EUR/USD, you will see 1.0794. 4 is the pip. But like you know what they call raised to power in mathematics. If you look up there now, you will see 8 standing above that 4. More like raised to power, right? 8. That's actually a pipette. But it's not a recognized units of measurement. That is why I'm not emphasizing on it, right? So pip is like the most acceptable smallest unit of measurement when it comes to trading. And I told you that pip stands for what? Percentage in profits. That's the PIP there. PIP, percentage in what? In profits. Then I think I forgot to mention points. When we get to okay, I'm definitely going to talk about points later when I talk about how to calculate your life lot sizing manually, right? But then just know that 1 point in trading, 1 point is equal to 10 pips. So which means that 10 pips makes what? 10 pips make 1 point. Do you understand? That is why you can draw out a short position to now. This is a short position to now. Now, if you look at this short position two, I think I told you guys when I talked about lot sizing. I don't know if I mentioned how to determine your PIP. You can see now the PIP here is what 372. That is the you can see here you have stop 0. I don't know if I talked about Stan. Sorry, did you watch the video on lot sizing?
No, I didn't. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Oyin, what about you? I just want to confirm, or maybe I'll do that later, Sha. I want to confirm that I showed them how to get tips from an analysis. But I can't remember if I did that. But if I did now, you can see that that the PPS was 372 at this point. Right? I told you that it's usually before the percentage. Here you have 0.64%. So the one that is before the digits before what? The whole number digits before the percentage in bracket. That is what your PIP. So in this case, your stop loss PIP is what? 372. Your take profit PIP is what? 1881. Sorry. Your stop loss PIP is what? The one after the bracket, sorry. Which is what? Which is 37.2, right? Which is 37.2 at this point. And then the take profit PIP is what? 188.1 pips. But then your point is going to be what? Pips times 10. So in this case, your point is the one before the bracket, which is this 372. That's your point. In this case, your point is what? 1881. If I should change this again, I'll change this scenario to something like this. You have what? You have your stop loss PIP as what? 14.2. And remember that I told you that what? 1 point is 10 pips, right? So in this case now, 14.2 times 10, that's your point. And you always find your points before the bracket. The whole number before the bracket is your point. Why the number, the digits after the percentage that is being represented in the brackets is your pips. So in this case, your pip is what? 14.2, and your point is what? 14.2 times 10, which you always find before the bracket, which is what? 142 for your stop loss. In this case, your take profit pips is what? 86 pips. And what your take profit points is what? 866. So whenever you see somebody say, oh, 100 pips take profit, this is what they just mean, right? It means that quite a what? 100 pips from their entry. And I told you how the pip changes. Usually changes what? With the last decimal digits, right? And then we talked about trading sessions where I talked about the London, New York, Asian trading session, which is also called the Tokyo trading session. And then I talked about what the Sydney trading session as well. And the time, I told you that what the London trading session is what 8 a.m. Nigerian time to 5 p.m. Nigerian time. The New York trading session is what 1 p.m. Nigerian time to 10 p.m. Nigerian time. While the Asia trading session or the Tokyo is what 12 a.m. Nigerian time to 9 a.m. Nigerian time. And then the Sydney is 11 p.m. Nigerian time to what 8 a.m. Nigerian. Emphasize that what when these trading sessions are overlapping, they come with what more volatility. And I told you guys I was focusing on what 2 trading sessions, which is what the London and the New York trading session. So we talked about brokers and trading platforms, right? So I don't know, does anybody have any question? I think all of you are muted because you guys don't see the word, that's why. Let me see. Okay. So I think you'll be able to unmute yourself now. Does anybody have any question or anything you'd like me to run over?
Yes, please have question.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me, please?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
All right, thank you. Good evening. Please, I would like if you can come again with the 1 point equals to 10 p and that whole place again. Can you come on?
Okay, I said that um, 1 point is equal to 10 pips. Now, the unit of measurement you're using is actually not the points. I'm just trying to emphasize because there is a manual way of calculating lot sizes that may require you using points for faster calculations. Do you understand? If not, it's the pip that most of you are going to be using most of all. So if you look at my trading view setup now, you would see stop 0.00142. You see this 142, which is usually the whole number, that is the point. And then you have 14.2 as what? As the pip. The pip is usually always after the bracket. After the bracket, you find the pip for every setup, right? If I should go to my national market app now, impute this entry, impute this stop loss, impute this take profit target, you're definitely going to see the national market app give you 14.2 as what? As the pip movement. So I'm just trying to tell you that for you to determine a point, just calculate 14.2 times 10. Assuming this 142 is not here, you will be able to know that the point is what 142. So which means that 14.2 times 10, that is your that is your point, right? Every time for the take profit target and the stop loss target. So what I'm just trying to say about the point is that 1 point is equal to 10 pips. Do you understand that now?
Yes, thank you very much.
Right.
Good evening, sir. I have a question.
Good evening, go ahead.
Okay. Please, can you guys mute your mic? I will be fast. Okay, my question is, at the point where the London session and the New York session overlap, is it advisable to trade at that point? Because
Yes.
since the volatility is high.
It's not like the volatility is going to be as heavy as like when there's news. Do you understand? It's not like it's going to be one very sharp volatility like that. But we notice that there's more volume. Like, okay, your take profit target is hitting faster, or you understand your trades are moving faster. So just comes with like more volatility because many people are now trading at the same time. There's no money in the market. So yes, it is advisable to trade at those times.
What if there's news and is he advisable to trade, right?
What if there's what?
I said, what if there is news as at that time? Is it advisable to still trade?
Okay, so we've not gotten to entries. I will not answer that question. You understand? But then I told you that most of the news you would see, they usually come in this section now. Majority of the you see CPI, what's the other one said? Most of this news usually come like 1:30 3 p.m. I think it's just some that can be like 7 a.m. But major news just come between this time. You get? So when we get to entry, we talk about trading news on it.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Can you stop if you're not talking?
Hello, good evening. I would like you to go over.
But I think you muted everybody.
Status, can you hear me?
Yeah. I can hear you.
Views of the participants and how they are answering it. So once you call the person's name, then the person can speak rather than all of them speaking at the same time.
All right, no problem. Okay, something you can talk now. I think I can check if communication wanted.
All right. Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much, for this class. Like, I've been having issues calculating pips over this past time, but this actually just broaden up everything for me. So my question is, during, like most of the traders have issues on this during London sessions and maybe an Asian session or Sydney sessions, is it advisable trading the pairs or corresponding pairs, let's say maybe selling GDP JPY on Asian session, then buying GDP JPY on New York sessions? So like, what is the effect on that? Is it advisable?
I'm trying like really hard to make sure that I don't jump. Do you understand? I get your question. Better still, you can ask me this personally. There are a lot of people on this call that have not gotten there, and I don't want them to feel overwhelmed. You understand? So just ask me, send this question to my DM personally, and I'll answer you. But
thank you so much.
Okay. You are 23. I think you can unmute yourself now and ask.
Yeah, hi.
Please, any question you ask should be related to what we're going to do, so that you don't push people faster than they already are.
Yeah, sure. Okay, good evening. So I want to ask about the broker. I know you just mentioned it, but I want to just confirm. Are you going to be giving like a list of brokers to go with, or is that something we should outsource ourselves?
Okay, I will. I will definitely recommend the ones that for synthetics, I think the only acceptable broker so far is Dairy. You understand? I would have said C-Trader, but Dairy owns C-Trader as well. You understand? So for synthetics, you're very sure that it's just Dairy you're using. For forex currencies, it does depend. I mean, some of you that will be trading prop firms. Prop firms have their own specific broker. You cannot choose. It's a broker that the prop firm gives you that you have to trade with. You understand? But then when it comes to like other ones, we just when we get there, definitely I'll just recommend the ones that I know that are credible enough, with good trading conditions as well. So I'll do that. Okay. Great. Okay. Roderick. I mean, who is Roderick? You gonna meet yourself on top.
Okay, good evening.
What do you mean?
My question is concerning this tip and point.
Can you be a bit audible? Can you try to increase your voice again? I'm struggling to hear it.
Okay.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, my question is concerning this pip and point. You said that 1 point make 10 pip. So like according to those 1 point is equal to 10 pips. So
yes.
Like if there's like 14 points or 10 pips, I mean, if there's 10 pips means the points will be lower than the pips, right?
If you have 10 pips in the market, let me say you want to tell somebody that, oh, okay, my trade has gone 100 pips, right? You can say my trade has gone 100 pips, or my trade has moved 10 points. You understand? Because 1 point is equal to 10 pips.
Okay, so it will be
exactly.
So it will be like the pips divided by the points.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Is that it?
Okay.
1 point.
Yeah, instead of times.
Okay, yeah, I think so.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Shay, I think you can talk now.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah, thank you very much. So actually, my question is about the identifying the people. So I don't know if you have talked about this already, because my network was actually a little bit unstable when you first started the class. So you talked about the currency pairs, that the PIP is actually the third number after the decimal point, right? And about the JPY pair, you said the PIP is the second number after the decimal point. So what I wanted to ask is about gold. Yeah. So I realized that the number on the gold is actually different from the other pair, like the AUD, USD, and JPY pairs. So how can we determine the PIP on that group here?
How can you determine? I told you that if you want to check for, well, let me move to good for my trading view. So this is good 2923.98. You understand? So just like the JPY as well, we're going to be using what? The second decimal. Do you get? Because that's the last one there. And just like the other ones as well, if you want to find out any peak movement, all you have to do is what? To draft out the entry to a stop loss, just like something like this now, right? You'd see that what that at this point the peak is what I think the amount, which is 15.808 before the brackets and then after year, I think. Okay, I would confirm about this board and get back because I can't say for sure. I'm a bit confused, but I think it should be same thing on the second decimal point. But I'm going to confirm and get back because usually I just go straight to my NASH, calculate my things and go back. No, I'll confirm and then I'll let you guys know on the announcement. So Rita, I think you can talk now.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
So I wanted to ask about, you said we should trade 2 sessions.
Please give me 1 minute before you continue. There's this guy, I don't know, your username is GR8. I think you put your hand up before, or I mistakenly put it down. I was trying to put somebody else's hand down. So just try raising your hand again if you still have a question that is unanswered. I can't remember the full name, but I saw GR8 or something like that. All right, Rita, go ahead. Please try to be fast so that the recording is not so long.
Okay, I wanted to ask, you said once the trading session has ended that we should stop trading. So if our trade has not gotten to our TP, are we to close the trade or just keep it going?
You can keep your trades going. What I mean is looking for trading opportunities, not actually holding trades.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So, okay. Kelvin about Sodia. Sorry.
Good evening.
Good evening. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. Thank you for all you do. Yeah. What I want to ask is, you didn't talk about lot size. Like, I will learn.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to talk about it. You know, it's also a session that I'll have to like share my screen, not size spread. Those are the two that I'm going to talk about.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, no problem. Thank
Everything is
you.
All right. Okay.
Unmute me. Okay.
Agoze Franklin. Please go ahead. Just make a question as fast as possible, please. Because of other people on the call. Continue, you're gonna mute yourself. Okay. Lower hand. Bouncing. I don't know if that's right. You're gonna mute yourself if you have a question.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, my own question. I have 2 questions here. The first question is about risk to reward. Now, the risk to reward. What if I want to risk like $10 in a trade? Is it that I will set the $10 now will be like that amount that will be like my stop loss amount, or how will I set the risk to reward? That's the first question. And the second question is, you're talking about brokers. So please, which broker is the best to trade US 30 and NAS 100?
All right. So first of all, before I continue, I mentioned that every question for every session should be what I thought. You understand? Now, this is because this is not a private class. There are people here that are very new, and mentioning risk reward now would make them start like creating unnecessary curiosity or something. I'm trying to follow it as step by step, if that's correct, as possible. You understand? These are things that you can ask me personally, not on the call. But just to answer you, your risk to reward ratio is usually what you're risking at stop loss versus take profits. Let's say you have a setup now, your margin is like $50 and your stop loss like your stop loss risk, meaning if this trade should hit stop loss, this is what you're going to, or this is what is going to be removed from your account. Let's say that is like $10. Your margin is $50, right? Or your balance in your account is $50. But at stop loss, you will lose $10 out of that $50, right? It means that that $10 that you're going to lose versus the risk to reward ratio. Let's say the setup now. If you go to trading view and you have a setup mapped out, something like this, let's say in the case of a buy position now, you have something like this mapped out. You can see here now, you can see VIX versus reward ratio 3.59. Let me increase this now. You can see VIX to reward ratio 5.76. It means that whatever you're losing at stop loss times the VIX to reward ratio is what you make at take profit target. So for my example, whereby you're risking $10 at stop loss times 5.76, it means that at take profit target you're making what $57.6. You understand? So risk to reward ratio is whatever you're losing at stop loss versus times the risk to the reward. You understand? So $10 times 5.76. In the case of the risk to reward is what 4.05. It means that what your $10 times 4.05, so you're going to make what $40.5 at take profit target. Are you clear now? Then for your second question, you can use Xmas for those ones. So who is next? Justin. You can go ahead with the question.
Good evening.
Good evening. There's no need to be just go straight to the
If you kept saying 10 pips makes 1 point, then you said to get the number of points, you have to multiply the number of pips by 10, right?
No. Sorry. If 10 pips, 10 pips.
I think it should be 10 points.
Yeah,
make one point.
actually, you're right. No. It's 10 pips.
10 points make 1 point, 1 pip. 10 points make 1 pip. So that's what you meant to say.
What I meant to say and what I said are the same thing. I said that 10 pips make 1 point.
It's supposed to be 10 points make 1 pip since you are multiplying the pips by 10.
You're not multiplying, you're dividing. I don't know if I should transfer the host title to you so that you teach the rest of them.
No, I'm saying you told us when
the multiplication is actually division. Do you understand? But the standard is that 10 pips make 1 point. Are you clear?
Okay. Thank you.
Unknown. I think you can talk now. I don't know who that is. You are go ahead.
Hello, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yeah, please go ahead. There's no need to do.
Alright. So I'm sorry, but I just wanted to like bring the suggestion. Please don't be angry, and the fellow admits please don't be angry. Please just like a suggestion. Please, I was just thinking that like things like this, like what is forex or what is statistics or how to calculate it, like why can't like the videos be just sent to the basic group for people to go through them? If they have any questions about like calculating lots and all those things, then you can ask it in the question group. Like I mean like for beginners. So that is just like a suggestion. Please don't be arguing.
I'm not angry, but then the thing is, I understand that you're not the beginner, but you're not the one that will tell me how to run the class. we made it live session because I know that that is how people get to understand more. It's not everybody that watches recordings, and it's not everybody that understands recordings, especially for very new. The reason why you're talking about recording now is because you're somebody that like you're used to it. If you go through this video now, somebody talks about what is this, you can easily grab it. But it won't be the same thing for people that are just getting into Forex for the first time. Live sessions are better. So I understand that maybe this is not where you want to start from. You definitely get to where you want to start from, right? It's you can see everything on the outline as what you need. So even if you have no business with this first session, which you're supposed to have a business with, you're definitely going to get to where you move along with other people. So I don't know if you say unfortunately, I'll still do it how I want to, right? So Victor, you can unmute yourself now and talk.
All right, so I just want to ask, like, if there's like an alternative to the Nash app, maybe like a website or like an alternative app you can use to calculate our lot size. Thank you.
Okay, minus the Nash market.
Yeah.
I'll try to see, like I realized that the mass market does not work for Play Store. That's for Android users. So I'll try to, there's one, I think there's one position sizing app that I have on my Android. So I'll just try to check it to make sure that it is still authentic to understand. It's not bringing up quick calculations. And if it is, then I'll drop that one as well. I'll come up with an alternative, definitely. Okay, so I think that's the question before. You can lower your hand now. Franklin Agozie, as this person is not asked you. Okay, Franklin, I think you can talk. Right. Okay, go ahead now.
Evening from this one. My question is about the calculation of the fleet.
Please, with this network, just ask the question in the Telegram group. I'll answer it in the Telegram group. Okay, go ahead. The person that is writing on my screen, I can see your username. When I remove it from the call and remove it from the Telegram group.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay, yeah. I downloaded the Nash app though, and I went through the Nash app, and the Nash app is just for basically Forex and maybe some other pairs. So I was actually wondering, if just imagine someone wants to calculate synthetics, do you understand? Like, is there any other app aside from Nash app to calculate synthetics?
Yeah. There is one when we get to synthetics with 3 doses. This one is usually for experiences.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
All right, so for every other person that has questions, you just ask on the Telegram group. I'm going to attend to it. If you have any question, just send it to the Telegram group. For the person that was writing on my screen, I mean your user is Zoom already notified me. Did Hara or Oloyede1905@gmail.com. Please, I'm begging you guys, just behave so that we don't have issues in this school. It's best that you do your thing, go away, and then we have course, everybody goes home satisfied, right? So the Telegram, the recording is going to be sent to the Telegram group. It's 1 hour, 13 minutes long. For those of you that don't late, you can go through it, and if you have questions, just open on the question group. I'll attend to them as soon as I can. For the hands that are still raised up with questions, join them on the Telegram group as well. I'll go through it and try to attend to them. You guys take care of yourself and see you guys again on Friday.